Welcome to the Chundria Brownlow Show. I'm your host, Dr. Chundria Brownlow. Now, today's episode is all about starting over and building a life that reflects who you are now and not who you used to be. My guest, Olivia Howell, is the founder of a platform dedicated to helping people navigate fresh starts with clarity, confidence, and care. Whether you're moving through divorce, loss, or transformation, this conversation is for you. Let's dive in.
Olivia Howell, thanks for being a guest on the Chundria Show today. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you for having me. What a great way to start my day.
Of course. Well, let's dive on in and chat about you and all the amazing things that you have going on. So it's apparent that rebuilding with dignity and community has become a driving force in your personal mission. Tell me about the inspiration behind Fresh Starts Registry.
Yeah, of course. So, 50% of first marriages end in divorce. And I come from a big family of divorce. My parents are divorced. My grandparents are all divorced. I thought that I knew divorce really well. And then I went through my own divorce. And my marriage ended in April of 2019. And my boys were 2 and 5. They were really little. And I had no idea what to do. And, I luckily had family support and friends that helped me on my way. But I thought, if I'm struggling with knowing who to call and what to do, and I lived this my whole life, imagine if you have no experience with divorce whatsoever. So my ex-husband moved out in August of 2019, and my sister, who we own and owned a marketing agency together, so we do everything together. She came over and helped me clean out the house. He left, I stayed in the house, and he took half his things, right? He took his stuff, half my stuff was gone. What was left was really emotionally charged items, right? Like things from the wedding registry, the sheets we slept on together. So I donated a lot of things, and I was left with a very empty house. And I thought, why is there not a registry for this moment in life? It was like my Oprah aha moment, right? Like, why is there not that? And so I Googled it, and the only things that came up were articles saying, why has this not been invented yet? Like, why do we not have a divorce registry? So I called my sister, and I said, I think we should try to build this. And she was like, we don't have the time or the space. We have a marketing agency with full clients. She's like, a startup is very different. I had a little background in the registry space on a marketing side, but not from a building side. So we kind of tabled the idea, but I really started to get very passionate about sharing my divorce journey and the support that I had and sharing support. And then my sister, who's a little bit younger than me, she was supposed to get married. She was supposed to get married in May of 2020 to her longtime partner. They were together for 10 years. And the wedding obviously didn't happen because it was May of 2020. And then they ended up breaking up. So she had the opposite experience of me, where she left her apartment in Queens with nothing, and I stayed in the residence. And she called me, and she's like, I'm in this new apartment, and I have nothing. Like, I think we should build this registry. So we sat down at her new table that she bought for herself, and we just built everything we've built ourselves. So we are the world's first divorce registry and only still divorce registry. And we are a divorce education platform, and we have vetted experts. We have over 100 vetted experts that you can have access to reach out to, like therapists, realtors, obviously, divorce coaches, divorce lawyers. Our whole aim is to eliminate the overwhelm out of starting over. So whether it's divorce, whether it's moving, whether it's grief or job loss, we want you to come and you can build a registry for free. You can access our experts for free. We have so many resources, all free. We believe if you're going through a life transition, we will never charge you for accessing any of those resources. And we just spend our days supporting people with building resources. I personally meet with people going through divorce every single day as a divorce resource consult, I like to call it, and it's totally free. There's no upsell, there's no charge. It's just me helping connect you to people and resources. And we are the leading divorce support network now. So we're really proud of everything that we built.
Wow. That is so impressive and so selfless. Like, you took a very vulnerable state that both you and your sister were in, and you've turned it into this fantastic resource.
Thank you.
For the public to use. How has the response thus far shaped the mission? Has it changed? Has it evolved? Was it always where you had all these other external elements added to it? Or did it just start out as registry and then you built it along the way?
I love this question so much because we are incredibly transparent with how we make money and how we build the business. Female founders, as you know, probably get less than 2% of VC funding. So we went down that route for about 3 seconds and realized it was completely anti-women and that was not a place we wanted to be. So we are totally bootstrapped. So how we make money, and we are very clear on this, is how we've always made money, which is in marketing and PR. So my background is marketing and PR. My sister's background is in events and tech and business organization. So when you sign on to be a Fresh Starts expert, there are two levels of membership. So you can sign on for $25 a month and you get referrals, direct referrals. You have a profile on our website, which $25 a month is like nothing compared to other websites. And then for just $55 a month, you have access to our complete community, which includes every day of the week. We have business coaching, open office hours, co-working, and we do PR for our experts for $55 a month. So we make money through the expert side. We never make money from the people going through the fresh starts, we like to say. We do use Amazon as a registry platform because to build a registry platform, as we realize, is very, very expensive. And something that's really important for us is the safety of our users. So we do not collect user data on anybody who's going through Fresh Starts to build a registry or to download any of our resources. We don't ask you for an email. All of our ebooks are free. You can just download them. And Amazon will then take your address and hide it from anybody that, when you build a registry. And so we use affiliate links. I like to be very clear. We use affiliate links. We make pennies off of them. Anybody that knows affiliate links knows that. But we really like to use them to track what people are adding to their registry. So I can tell you that a lot of people are adding to their registries sheets, towels, plates, cups, utensils, right? Things for that quick, fresh start that you want to have. But to answer your question, which I love, we started out just building the registry side, and the registry side makes, like I said, almost no money. It was not sustainable, right? So we almost call it it's almost like a nonprofit, right? Because it makes just literally pennies. And so we had to figure out how we were so passionate about this, how can we make money? And that's when we developed and built out the membership platform for our experts. So you know what? We've been 4 years into this. We're still iterating and learning and building. Right now, we're in the process of building out a complete book series of divorce guidance because there's nothing out there that supports people who don't know. Divorce is a totally different world. It's a different language. And all of our books will be available in paperback for $11.97, but they're also all totally free on our website as an ebook or a PDF. You don't need to put an email or a credit card or anything like that. So we really just are here to support people. That's the bottom line.
And that's what I love about it is you both have single-handedly created a space not only for resources. It's like a two-sided coin. It's like it just gets better. It's like the icing on the cake. But then you're also helping the marketplace because I'm sure these vendors are very appreciative that you created a platform where people can gather, people can get those resources, and then if they need extensive services, then you have that there as well. So like everybody eats, everybody has an opportunity to share their gifts, their talents, their services, etc. And then there's traffic back to your business, which is not why you started this. But it's like a really well-oiled machine. So I just commend you both on that.
Yeah, thank you.
And I also commend you for helping people like emotionally recharge during these like transitional moments like divorce or breakups. Because we don't give enough, like, you don't really realize how much you really have to start over. And I feel like a lot of times people kind of leave you alone, like naturally. Now I know like the worst, like I'm going to leave her alone because she's going through a divorce or she's going through a breakup, but I feel like people naturally kind of just give you your space. Like she probably doesn't want to be bothered. He probably doesn't want to talk to anybody. He's probably, healing. I'm going to give him a couple months, but like your world may be completely rocked. Like you said, I don't even have sheets. He or she took the sheets.
Yeah.
He or she took the dishes, and maybe that's not an expense on top of
Right.
the expenses for divorce. Like, it may seem like, oh, I could just go to a local store and buy those things. And so that's what I love. There's so many moving parts to this, but they just work so well together.
Thank you.
So my question for you is, what are some overlooked needs, other needs that people face when they're rebuilding their lives, that your platform addresses? Like, you take care of the household things. It sounds like you have real estate agents on there. You have, what else do you have anything with job placement, or do you have anything, with care, providing care for children?
Absolutely, we do. So we always like to say a fresh start begets a fresh start. So often we get people that will come to us and they are, going through a divorce, and there's a relocation and there's a new job. So we have resume experts, we have career experts, we have amazing care, parenting coaches. We have somebody from the Parent Collective, which is a national organization that helps people through pregnancy find community, which is really important, because something we don't talk about is a lot of people going through, who are pregnant, get divorced. And we don't like to talk about that because it's such a stigmatized topic, but they need support too. And then something else that's really important for us is helping people learn how to ask for help. So not only do we have our experts, but we have so many resources on what to say to experts. So we just released a free ebook. It's 250 questions to ask divorce professionals before you hire them. Because how do you even know what makes a good divorce lawyer or a divorce coach, right? Why do you need all of these things? What's a forensic accountant, right? People don't know all of this. So we are really passionate about also giving people the language and the words and the scripts to work with the professionals and ask the right questions too.
I love that. Thank you. Question: can you share a success story that really moved you or reminded you why you started this?
Yes, absolutely. So like I said, we don't collect user data. So everything we know from our registries, we hear from people, and people will reach out to us and say, I did a divorce registry because I had nothing. Something that was very, very important and is very important to me is accessibility for people who use the website, meaning that if we're building out a registry bundle of items for a children's room, we want to make sure that if it's a single mom who's buying these items or getting these items, she can actually put together these items by herself, right? I was a solo mom. I couldn't have built a huge bed by myself, but I could build a toy box, right? So we actually got a video from a woman who used our children's room bundle on her divorce registry. She had shared the registry on her social media. People bought her things to support her, and she had the items for her two little boys that were from the registry in this video, and I was sobbing. I was like, this is everything. But I get messages from people all of the time saying thank you for building this. Like, I'm literally starting with nothing, right? Or a lot of women especially will leave with their kids and that's it. And so, we always like to say that the items on a registry are not gifts. We don't call them gifts. They're support items. They're physical manifestations of the support you can give somebody. So whether it's an internet friend or it's your sister or it's your neighbor, I just like to encourage people to build that divorce registry and send it into the world, because you never know who wants to support you.
I love that you're using specific tailored language, which really, really helps to reinforce and kind of change that mindset, because, and I feel like you inadvertently are jumpstarting the healing process for your fresh starts, as you like to call them. Yeah. And I also see that, like, you and your sister are normalizing the fact that, like, reinvention really matters. Like, it matters to you all. And I think that's at the heart of this, is that you would make a divorce they feel like you care about my reinvention is just as much as I do. You're giving me permission to own my fresh start, and that's the beautiful part of it, because divorce can be very icky sometimes. Yeah. It can also be very timely. It may not be that I'm mourning the divorce, or I could be mourning the divorce. Yeah. It may be something that has to happen for whatever those reasons are. But at the end of the day, that restart process is still the same. I have to restart. I have to start over a life without that person that I've been with for whatever that time is. Yeah. So, but there may be somebody out there who's afraid to start over after divorce, or they're afraid to divorce altogether, because sometimes that word has such a negative, it feels like, it can feel like failure, like I failed in my marriage, or like that little voice in your head, or even the societal pressures of, till death do us part, and all the things that are in those vows. Speak to that person that may be watching them. Maybe they may know it's time to go, They may be afraid to start over. What does that mean for my income? What does that mean for my housing? What does that mean for my children? What does that mean about the area that I live? What does that mean? Could you speak to that person that may be watching today?
I love that question. So I believe that divorce is a recalibration. It is never a failure, right? Because divorce is choosing yourself, it's choosing your future and your children. You literally cannot fail if you choose yourself. So divorce is never a failure. Divorce itself is so hard, right? Any legal issue is going to be hard, right? You're dealing with, it's a contract. You're dealing with lawyers. You have to go through something. But the other side of divorce is so beautiful because you have to walk through that fire to get there. And while you're walking through that fire, there's so much support for you. So I would say if somebody's listening to this and they're considering divorce or they're in the process, or even if they're just have that little spark of like, is this still the right relationship for me? Sign up for one of those 15-minute chats with me and we'll talk. I'll give you some resources and support. We have a ton of articles about what to consider if you're considering divorce. That's actually our next ebook that's coming out, is how to work through that process and walk through that process if you know it's the right time for you to get divorced. But divorce has been so shamed and stigmatized, and I think it's because it's about choosing yourself, right? And people don't really, that scares a lot of people because that's really powerful. So I believe that divorce is actually the most courageous, brave decision you can make. And people that have gone through divorce it's really a very special community that they really will help others who are walking through that process. So reach out to anybody that's in your life that's been divorced. Reach out to me. Come to Fresh Starts Registry. We have so many free resources and you are not alone. As long as we're here, you are never alone in the divorce process.
Oh, you have a really sweet spirit, and a true passion for the work that you're doing. And I just wish you loads and continues of amazing success coming your way in your personal life and your professional life. May you see it tenfold over for all the work that you do every single day. So before we wrap up today, Olivia, I have a couple of rapid fire questions for you before we close out today. You talked about your self-care today, but are you a coffee or tea drinker?
Oh my gosh, I go back and forth. My favorite tea is Paris, the Paris flavor tea, but I love coffee too. I can't. It's a 50-50 on that one.
Okay. Are you an early bird or a night owl?
I'm a night owl, but I should be an early bird.
Okay. What's your favorite comfort movie or TV show? Something you've seen far too many times you can count.
I would say movie is The Wedding Singer because it's perfect. And I have to go with like a Seinfeld or Friends, the classic.
Okay. What's a hobby you wish you had more time for?
Craft. I'm an artist. I'm a crafter and I don't have time to do that.
What's your go-to karaoke song?
Oh my gosh, I think it's probably something Celine Dion. So I can belt it out.
Okay. And then last one, if you're traveling on a vacation, do you want to be by the mountains or the beach for a weekend escape?
I would say that on the beach with a book and music and no children to take care of for a couple days.
Awesome. Olivia Howell, thanks for being my special guest. You've done tremendously well for yourself. Congrats to you and your sister on 4 years.
Thank you.
Of the Fresh Starts Registry. What does your business need? Shout us out. Tell us how we can stay connected with you. And if anybody's watching, how can they support your brand?
I love that so much. Well, we're always looking for more experts. So if you are a divorce lawyer, divorce coach, therapist, realtor, come on board. We have an amazing community. Like I said, it's $25 or $55, which is nothing compared to the value that you're getting over at Fresh Starts. And if you are going through a divorce or know somebody going through a divorce, send them our way. We're Fresh Starts Registry everywhere. We're Fresh Starts. We are the only divorce registry. So if you Google divorce registry, you will find us. And I'm happy to help anybody. And we have tons of free resources.
Amazing. Keep up the great work, Olivia.